So here we are in the final phase of preparing the high tunnel for inspection. It's going to occur on Tuesday. We framed out the end walls. We're going to talk to Brett about that in a minute from T-Bar K. And we're going to talk about some safety with Ben. But the first thing we need to talk about is the next phase of this tunnel after fall or after summer is to put the cover on this thing. Right now, there's no reason to put it on. So as we get ready to start growing in this, we'll add the tunnel cover. In order to do that, we have to make sure that there's some things that are done. And Dana has gone around today. Hi, Dana.
Hello.
So tell everybody what you were doing today on the side of the high tunnel.
Okay, so what I did today was I taped up these awesome bolts with some special duct tape. Do it right, duct tape, right?
Yep.
To cover them so that when the vinyl comes over the top, it doesn't get messed up on the bolts.
Yeah, won't cut it, punch any holes in it. And this high tunnel has a roll up sides all the way up to this C channel. So we can roll it up or down at will. And all of those bolts that Dana was covering today could potentially tear that vinyl cover, and we don't want to do that. So thank you, Dana, for everything you did for taping each and every one of the bolts on the outside of this thing all the way around this whole thing. Morning, Brett. How are you?
Well, it's hot already, brother.
Yeah, it's not morning anymore, and we're cooking out here, about to die in triple-digit heat. Well, Brett has been working on this. Brett from T-Bar K has been working on this project with me since day one. We've done every bit of labor on this together, and it's been pretty crazy. In the last two videos, you saw us when we set up the arches and the posts, but this video we had to talk about finishing out the end walls. Brett, you want to talk about these end walls?
Well, it was a collective deal, Doug. Since you are the owner of this high tunnel, you had to make a decision how big you wanted a door here. So once we figured that out, we got the 4x6s, and since we have a 12-foot wide opening, is that right?
Yes, sir.
We decided to go a little bit bigger and go with a 4x6 because we're going to hang a pretty big door off of it. We stuck those boogers about 3 feet in the ground, so we get some pretty good leverage on there, and brought them all the way up and tied the tunnel arch rafter into it up there at the top. We ran that strap, just a simple pipe strap, something that we can take and stay out of the way of the tarp, get it all tied in. And then we put this header in here so that we have something to adhere the tarp material on above it, coming from the arch top down to here, and then the door hangs underneath here, and you can drive your tractor in and out of here.
Yeah, I noticed one of the things I want to talk about is we notched that 2x8 in there.
Well, yeah, the reason we did that is we don't want to have an offset in our tarp anywhere on this wall. When you get offsets, the wind gets to blowing on that tarp, it start working the staples loose, and then you get a tear in your tarp, and then you're buying a new tarp, and that ain't no good. We're trying to save you money, sir.
Oh, that's a good thing. I always like to save money. And then we went on over here and we added some additional supports, right?
Well, we did this for a combination of reasons. So you have somewhere to put a fan. You can put a fan on either side of the door. In a minute, we can go to the other end and look at the vent we got. But this also gives us a solid 4x6 here that we can tie this arch down to and help use it for a tie down in the tunnel, just to make it a little stronger in the winds we get around here.
So yeah, on this end of the tunnel is where we'll be adding the fans. Now we can go down towards that other end, and you can tell us about that.
Well, come on, let's go for a walk.
We did. So let's talk about that big old vent we put up there. We couldn't decide if it was going to make it or not.
Somebody I know scored a little deal and did some hornswoggling and had a big old vent delivered to the farm and said, "Hey, we want to put that down there. Can you figure it out?" Well, we did.
Yes, we did.
Well, it was collective. It wasn't just me, brother. But it worked out with having your tractor is about 7.5 feet, almost 7.5, almost 8 feet to the top of the roll cage. So we made our doors 8.5 feet above ground, so you got plenty of clearance, and it worked out to have enough room up there
for the vent.
That big old vent that you got there is going to let a lot of air out of this thing, a lot of hot air.
Okay, we got to let all the hot air out.
Well, you're full of a lot of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then we had Ben over here helping too. Ben's a Battleground of Breaking Ground participant in cohort 6. Five, I'm sorry, cohort 5. Dana was in cohort 6.
You're in a hurry. You trying to get out of here, Doug?
No, not at all. Not at all.
I just want to get some plants planted in this thing.
Yes, sir. Me too. What else do we need to talk about? I know we had one of the things we didn't talk about was cutting off the ends. We had a little overhang in the C channel, and we had overhang in the purlins at the top.
Yeah, this end is where we ended everything. So we let everything run wild in our last bracket, and then just came back, cut it off, wrapped it in tape so it don't cut the tarp on all 5 purlins. You can kind of see the top one on the middle there and the next one over that hasn't been taped yet. You get an idea how we cut it. And we'll come back and wrap that in tape so we can wrap the tarp around there and it won't cut it up.
That looks great. We did all the same on the ribbon boards. The support boards for our tie downs and the base boards all came back out on this end, and we cut all them off. And you did a fine job with that chainsaw and rounding off those edges too, so we don't tear that vinyl tarp as we get ready to install it. But one of the things that we hadn't talked about in any of these videos was farm safety. And farm safety is really important, particularly since right now we're probably 104, 105 degrees with a 90% humidity running us about 110, 111. And we really want to move over here and talk to this cool guy over here.
He said I was cool.
He did say you were cool. Well, so that hat is important. You're wearing long sleeves. Brett and I are not. We're sunburned. Our faces are sunburned. Our ears are extra crispy. When you're working in temperatures like this, I mean, normally you would do the installation of a high tunnel in the winter, in the fall, or the spring when it's nice and cool. But right now this is smoking hot. So we have been going through water, Gatorade, all those things to keep ourselves hydrated. And by about 3 o'clock, which is about 9 minutes from now, it's going to become so oppressive out here that we can't do anything. So Ben's wearing long sleeves. That's the smart thing to do. He's got a very wide brimmed hat. It keeps the sun off of him. He's got really thin pants and boots on that are keeping him from bugs, chiggers, ticks, which we don't have any chiggers or ticks anymore thanks to the birds, but you're wearing the appropriate clothing for keeping yourself from becoming a crispy critter out here and keeping your core body temperature down. Really, really got to talk about farm safety more in all of our videos. You have anything you want to add, Ben?
I learned all that from the military.
Yes, sir.
It's better to be a little bit more uncomfortable minute to minute, but not sacrifice your long-term safety, whether it's steel-toe boots or roasting your skin, turning red, and not being able to work the next day or the next day for a little bit of comfort. So, plug for the military. Absolutely.
Brett, you have anything in closing?
Hydrate.
Yes, sir.
You see, my cooling tower works pretty good. I sweat a lot.
Yeah, you're sweating pretty good, and that's your second shirt for the day. That's your second shirt for the day.
Don't tell everybody that.
Well, this will finish this up. This high tunnel is ready for inspection. That inspection has been scheduled for after lunch on Tuesday of next week. Today is Sunday. So I'll be doing some final cleanup of everything and making sure I've got everything covered and taping those ends up there, chopping those ends of the C channel off on this end and this end, and this thing will be ready to go. Thank you all for watching what we've been doing and how this tunnel went together, and we'll keep you posted on how it goes from here. Have a great day.